Hi all. In this session, I am going to discuss with you the importance of history in UPSC Civil Service Examination. So as you all know that UPSC Civil Service Examination is one of the most important competitive examinations in India, which has a very vast syllabus. The aspirants has to cover the syllabus timely, had to choose optional subjects correctly, and to give more importance to certain subjects for qualifying the exams. So, one such a subject is history, and in this session, I am going to throw light on the significance or importance of history in the preparation of UPSC Civil Service Examination. The aspirants may know that the UPSC Civil Service Examination has three stages. First one is the preliminary stage, second one is the mains, and the third one is the interview stage. So, in the preliminary stage, that is for the prelims exam, there are two papers, GS1 and GS2. So, this is a syllabus of General Studies paper 1. Actually, we are not going to discuss the whole syllabus. Here we are going to discuss only that part of the syllabus in which history is important. So, the current events of national and international importance, that is current events. So, we may think that current events had no connection with the history. In order to study current events, we have to go through the newspaper, we have to go through the current magazines and all. But at the same time, in order to have a proper understanding of the current events of national and international importance, we have to have a clear-cut understanding of our past. That is, each and every event will have its own history. So, in the case of the current events also, history is highly important. Then the second one is history of India and the Indian national movement. It is purely from history portion. So history of India, which covers almost all the aspects, ancient, medieval, modern and all. And that of the Indian national movement in particular, that is of freedom struggle in particular. That is a typical history portion. The next is the Indian polity and governance, constitution, political system, panchayati raj, public policy, rights, issues, etc. This portion is actually from political science aspects, but its base is in history. In history also we will study constitution. Various aspects of Indian constitution is directly connected with the history. Then the panchayati system, public policy, rights, issues, etc. Everything had a historical base, which is essential to understand that subject also. Then economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographic, social sector initiatives. It is purely an economic portion. Even though economics and history don't have a very close relation, but majority of these aspects which is discussed in the syllabus of UPSC Civil Service Examination had a base in history. That is, in history we used to study about the various economic changes that happened during the colonial rule, the economic changes that happened in India after independence, the various economic policies adopted by the various governments and all, which is also important for the UPSC examination. So in that angle, for certain portions, a base is there in history. So these are four most important topics that is discussed in the general studies paper, and in this section we can see that one section is directly from history, that is history of India and Indian national movement, and the other sections have a base in history. So studying history will help the aspirants to clear these aspects as well. Next is the mains, the structure of the mains. So this is the structure of UPSC mains examination. There is the first paper, that's an essay paper, which can be written in the medium of the candidate choice. Then paper 2, that is general studies 1. Then paper 3, general studies 2. Paper 4, general studies 3. Paper 5, general studies 4. Then paper 6 and 7, both are optional papers. That is, we have to choose only one optional subject which will have two papers. Then any Indian language paper and English language paper. This is the structure. So this is a syllabus of GS1, that is Indian heritage, culture, history and geography of the world and society. So in this paper, history had more questions. Indian culture will cover the salient aspects of the art forms, literature and architecture from ancient to modern times. Modern Indian history from about the middle of the 18th century until the present. Significant events, personalities, issues. So middle of the 18th century means about the modern India. The freedom struggle, its various stages and important contributors or contributions from different parts of the country. Post-independence consolidation and a reorganization within the country. So modern Indian history is completely mentioned in the GS1 paper of mains plus cultural aspects from ancient to modern India. Then the history of the world will include events from 18th century such as Industrial Revolution, World Wars, redrawal of national boundaries, colonization, decolonization, then political philosophies like communism, capitalism, socialism, their forms and effect on the society. So modern Indian history from the 18th century, but certain particular events that is mentioned in the syllabus. Then the salient features of Indian society, diversity of India. Actually, this is more from a sociological angle, but it had its base in history. Then the role of women and the women's organization, population and associated issues, poverty and developmental issues, urbanization, their problems and their remedies. Effects of globalization on Indian society, social empowerment, communalism, regionalism and secularism. So in these topics, we can see that it had more connection or inclination towards sociology, but at the same time, all these had a base in history. Without history, proper understanding of these topics is not possible. So history will help in these topics as well. Then after that, the GS1 paper will deal with the geography topics, which don't have any connection with the history. Then in other GS papers, that is in the GS2, Constitution and